Is we had a memorandum that we filed hit. I would say hit, which means that we had our outreach from a seller and from their real estate agent that we had under contract a year ago, last summer, May of 2020. And they were really, really mad because I guess they're getting ready to close this deal, and we had filed a memorandum of contract, which we've talked about on our podcast before. But a memorandum is just something you file with the county that says we're under contract to buy this house for such and such a price. And you know, it gives you a little bit of protection, and I think it's different in different states, but a little bit of protection if a seller ghosts you or if they try and go do a deal with a different buyer when you're already under contract with them. So we did that because this seller had ghosted us. We'd gotten them under contract, and then we were trying to move the ball forward, and they stopped returning our calls or texts and responding to us. So we filed a memorandum, which is just our protection in case they're trying to sell to somebody else. Then over a year later, they reached back out, and they're like, "Hey, you need to release this memorandum." And so I tried to get the seller on the phone, and she got really hysterical and crazy and dramatic and started texting me all these insults and slurs and threats and all this stuff. And I just basically tried to say to her, I tried to call her because I was trying to de-escalate it and like, hey, let's get on the phone and let's be two humans talking on the phone and sort this out. Because normally what we do is we'll ask for a little bit of money to release it, right? It's like, well, we already had a contract. We're going to make 5 to 10K on this. Give us some cash at closing. But I couldn't even get to that point with this seller. She was very, very hysterical. And so then her agent reached out. I tried to call the agent. I didn't get a hold of her. Followed her up with a text and an email. And then the agent gave me the attorney's phone number. So I reached out to him, left a voicemail on Friday. I haven't heard back. So we'll see how that goes. Usually, like I said, what we try and do is just say, hey, we were going to make money on this and you bailed on us. That's breach of contract. We were doing our part, and your part is to close by the closing date that's in the contract. And they didn't do that. So that's breach of contract. And so then we're just like, if you want us to release this memorandum, then we need some money, and then you can negotiate that amount. Right. So that's hopefully what's going to happen this week, is that I can talk to a lawyer who's not as emotionally invested as the seller, and just sort things out. And we can, between the lawyer and the real estate agent and me, we can figure something out with that. And the other thing on that is, like, the seller was being really crazy and really mean and hurtful, and like attacking me personally, attacking our business, threatening all this stuff. It's like, if you would just be cool, you might even talk me into just releasing the memorandum for no money, right? Like, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're going to be a total jerk about it, then I'm going to probably try and get some money out of it. Um, so anyway, just be a good person, right? It's like the crazy people see our president doing this stuff on Twitter, or people going nuts, fighting each other on social media. And it's like, let's be humans and talk to each other, voice to voice or face to face, and sort things out. We can do that. Anyway, that's my soapbox sidebar.